So solar, there is basically diode is used for one way, energy current has to flow in one way. So battery can also the energy can flow from battery also, and both are DC. So this is one of the application where we use diode in a battery. So if you don't know what's a diode, then it becomes very difficult for you to work in any industry. I'm just telling as a background. So keep your basics right, and I'm sure because I see all the time there is GED people are being there's so much demand. In fact, the other day also I was talking to the organizers that there's so much demand, especially in South and Maharashtra and all. There's so much of people asking for basic freshers of engineers. So let us begin with the course content. Let me quickly share my screen, and then we can discuss more about it. So first, let me talk about battery pack and cell. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We have seen your PPT. Good.
Okay. So this is basically battery pack design, and initially it will be starting with cells, and then we go all the way to the pack. So let me explain one by one. And then the next course I'll be talking about will be BMS plus BTMS. So beginning with introduction to cells, basically history of batteries and types of energy storage systems. So don't just confuse energy storage meaning something only solar or something like that. Any application where energy has to be stored. Technically in electric vehicle also energy has to be stored. So generally you can call it energy storage system, nothing wrong in that. And why should we use lithium ion cells? Why not something else? We'll talk about that. And how does a lithium ion cell work? And what are the battery terminologies? Battery terminologies are nothing but inside there's voltage, there's current, there's internal resistance, there is SOC, there is SOH, and there's so many parameters. Upper cutoff voltage, under voltage, and the continuous current. So we'll be talking about all that. And the chemistries, different types of chemistries of cells. There is LCO, there is NMC, NCA, LFP, LNMO has come now, LFMP, so many are there. So we'll talk about all that, not a problem. And cell construction, we'll be talking about form factors, the cylindrical, prismatic, pouch. Then we'll be talking about the materials, this cathode, anode, light separators, and all those things. And we'll be talking about cell failures. So I think I remember Chitra was talking about, why fires are happening, and Mr. Ganesh was telling, cells are balancing and all those things. So this is all part of cell failure, on the way to failing. So what is happening? Imbalancing is just one aspect. There are so many more reasons a cell gets stressed and all. We'll be talking about that. Then we talk about OCD and SOC, and we'll be talking about this is something. Okay, temperature. I think Chitra was talking about temperature also. So basically, temperature is something we are a hot country. We cannot deny that. So that is something we have to live with. The whole idea is battery on its own also during charging, discharging, no batteries can be 100% efficient. So whatever the losses is there, it's in the form of heat. And how fast you discharge the battery or how fast you charge is going to add up more heat. So that is where BTMS comes in, battery thermal management, to actively dissipate heat. To the sizing of BTMS matters a lot, and the cell should not experience heat for a lot of time, and there's liquid cooling and all that. I'll be talking in the next module. But generally, we'll be talking about the temperatures and all, and there's some physics-based model, and this is just theory mostly, but I'm more of a practical person. So we'll talk about C rating, like I told, and any questions regarding this? I'll show you one more PPT. Just okay. Can you all see this?
Yeah, we have seen, sir.
Okay, yeah. So this is more of my modified version where it is all more practical. So let me come back to that. So there's what is the lithium ion cell, types of lithium ion cells, popular chemistries, how a lithium ion cell is made because I'm an expert in that, cell capacity, what in its units, how to measure cell capacity, and then voltage also, what is nominal, what is upper cutoff, lower cutoff, nothing but under voltage, what is OCV, and we'll be talking about internal resistance in depth, understanding its value, what is a good value of IR value for a cell in different chemistries, different capacities. We'll be talking about cell state of charge. We'll be talking about state of health. So this is my modified course content that I recently made, more relevant to the industry. And we'll be talking about energy density. There's volumetric, there's gravimetric, storage conditions of the cells. There is a certain temperature that it needs to be stored, and operating temperatures for various chemistries. Generally in India, it's mostly NMC and electric chemistries people use. So we'll be talking about that in depth. Charging rate, what is the C rating, standard continuous charge current, maximum continuous charge current, same thing in discharge. Peak current is something when you want high torque and there's a pulse of high current when the voltage drops and the current is huge. And definition of cycle life, factors affecting cycle life, components. Now this is the second part of this module would be introduction to battery pack. So earlier was a cell. So what are the components that go and battery pack arrangement, the series parallel connection, and how a BMS is connected. What is the master slave BMS for high voltage applications, types of connectors, and selecting the right type of lithium ion cell for your application, selecting the right parameters of the BMS, types of bonding materials, and selecting the right thickness, such as that there's nickel strip and all. What should be the thickness of the nickel strip and all those things. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. And then there'll be performance testing, where we talk about depth of discharge, energy auditing. So whenever you make a pack, it's not that some customer tells you make a pack and send it to you. You need to understand what is the application. You need to study a little bit more. You need to send out a questionnaire to them and ask them what is the wattage of your motor, what is the peak current, what is the continuous discharge current, what is the charging current, what is your operating temperatures, and all those settings are actually put in the BMS, and those kind of cells have to be used internally. So that's basically called as energy auditing. And then there are some safety testing like vibration test, mechanical drop test, fire resistance, IP rating, overcharge protection, over discharge protection, low temperature, and how a battery pack is made. So there will be illustration. I'll be giving a video as well. And then ideal design techniques, where basically what are the types of welding and all those things. What is the difference between them, and where you need to use what cell grading, because just some time ago someone was telling about the cell balancing issue. So if your grading is good, those issues will never happen. So firstly, it's a continuous process where the heat dissipation has to be good. The BMS has to make sure that the battery pack is operating in the limitations of the characteristics of the cells, and you need to use high quality cells. So these are something which Indian OEMs are failing. And let me quickly come down to BMS and VTMS course. Any questions, meanwhile? I'm just looking for the document. Any questions from people before I move on to the BMS and VTMS? Any questions about battery?
Hello, I'm Dr. Chitra. Regarding the
Yes,
battery it was one of the problem now. Have you looked into the problem? Battery aging, because some particular period only which work now, that power battery. After that, some problem comes.
Product has a life cycle. Even humans have a life cycle. Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
So on the right time,
Yeah,
it has to be removed. So we need, that is all it comes under life cycle of the battery. So batteries after
Okay.
aging, the internal resistance becomes high, and its capacity, its ability to charge fast and give out high current output, which is a necessity for electric vehicle, diminishes. That property is almost
Yeah,
gone.
yeah, yeah. Now the
Because
limiting
yeah,
also problem, and after, yeah.
it is not a problem. You cannot call it a problem. It's something, OEMs need to understand that this is something, okay, aging has happened. So since the life cycle is over, it has to be removed from a vehicle.
No, no,
It's not
problem
like
is
the
the
battery
dispose
is,
is the problem.
it's
The
not about
dispose is the
dispose.
problem
See,
now.
there is second life. There is second life. So when you
Oh,
take it out, so you can actually reuse it, but it has to be slowly charged and slowly discharged. So it goes for solar
oh,
applications. See, the Indian market is very young, so probably you will not see all these things because batteries age over 3 to 5 years and then it comes. And most of them are
yeah, yeah,
using low quality cells or used cells coming from China. That's what is happening in Indian practices. So those cells are
yeah, yeah,
already
yeah.
used, so you cannot reuse what is
Yeah,
used.
that's correct.
That goes into the recycling. So recycling, what is happening? There are some 10 to 12 companies in India who take all these dead cells
Okay.
and they do a mechanical
Oh,
disintegration. Basically, they put it in a shredder kind of thing where all the metals come out. There's aluminum granules that come out, copper granules come out, and then there is a black mass that comes out. And the cell, the can is cylindrical SS304 that also comes out separately. And then the plastic separator comes out. But the main value is for the black mass. So black mass is a mixture of graphite, lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese in case of LMC. In case of LFP, it is lithium, what is that, iron and all this, phosphorus. It's a mixture of that plus graphite. So this black mass has to go to a metallurgical refining process, hydrometallurgical or pyrometallurgical. So that is something not happening in India because there is no cell manufacture. Because after that metallurgical process happens, then it is converted into sulfate or those kind of metals, which again goes for the cathode manufacturing. So we don't even have cell. Cathode is one step behind that. So that's why for those reasons the black mass is shipped to China, Korea and Japan today, where raw material manufacturing is done. So recycling is being done. Nobody is wasting because this is a precious metal, and regardless of it is precious or not, people see money in that. Per kg these cells are sold around 200 to 220 rupees per kg.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay.
As
Okay.
compared to
Thank you.
lead
Thank
acid, which is goes around 80, 85 rupees. Some places it goes up to 100 also. So
Oh,
We have some questions in the chat box here.
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Sir, this is Bhushan Bhatt. Yes, sir. What is the main cause for thermal runaway in batteries? Nowadays, it's happening most of the times. What's the root cause for that?
there are three reasons. First is use good quality cells. Second is use a BMS which lets the battery work in the operating conditions. So operating conditions can be in terms of temperature. So if the batteries go to high temperature, BMS should cut off. And second thing is it should not charge the battery too much, it should not discharge the battery too much. Third thing is you cannot demand too much current from the battery at all times. Suppose the battery is rated at 30 Ah. There are low speed scooters and all using 15 amps and the big high speed scooters using 30 amps and all that. So but if you want to just accelerate all the time and you're just heating up the battery. So there are two things, either the battery will cut off on the field or your BMS if it's not good enough and simply batteries will get heated up and over temperature cut off doesn't happen. Third thing is without letting the over temperature reach, there is battery thermal management which is supposed to dissipate the heat away from the cells. So that has to be active. More than 90% of the OEMs today they don't even use battery thermal management. Why? Because cost and tax weight, and they don't even know what is battery thermal management. This is a very new industry, so people are starting to realize the problems and all. Initially, they thought it is just about welding some cells with some nickel tap and just putting them in a box and connecting a BMS. They thought about that. So now industry is getting more matured and they are realizing, what are the they are taking it more seriously.
Yes, sir. So the main cause and the main game in battery is of BMS, right?
It's not, no, you cannot say that. It can be cells also. If you are using poor quality cells, what can the BMS do? Even if it's controlling, if you are using cells that are not EV grade, then obviously it will short circuit internally and catch fire. So it starts with procuring a good cell, followed by BMS. So all have their own importance. I am not saying any one is very important. So overall, if you have taken the BMS, BMS does play an important role, but it begins with procuring the good quality cell. Because cells
Okay,
is
sir. So
which is thermal runaway. Yeah.
can we do one thing in this? As you said, sir, that the temperature plays a great role in battery thermal runaway. Can we compulsorily do something that every manufacturer of battery has to use thermistors compulsorily in the battery?
Have you seen the BMS? Who is this?
Yeah, seen the BMS?
In
Yeah,
that,
I've seen it.
there is a thermistor.
There is already a thermistor.
Yes. Every BMS comes with a thermistor. So it is the job of the BMS to cut off when it feels high temperature. So during charging, generally 45 degrees will cut off. During discharging, it's around 60. Yeah.
Okay, discharging
There are
at
some
60.
OEMs who don't even know that and they keep 55, 70 and all, which is again adding stress to the batteries. So I always say go to the basics. If you have any doubt, always refer to the cell data sheet. It's very important. It plays a very important role.
Yes, sir.
So
Sir,
going back to the basics. So once you know the basics, I don't think it should be a problem that you are a fresher also. Everybody is welcome, but get the basics right when you try to enter the industry. Because everybody is new. I'm being very frank. Everybody is new here. There's nobody in India who will tell I have 15 years experience in battery. Someone is telling probably they are lying. Okay, उतना पुराना है भी नहीं India. It's not even that old industry. Maybe one or two, maybe, but not more than that. It's a very new industry. Everybody is welcome, especially in battery IC, and people from every aspect is welcome, be it mechanical or others also. So let me just open the BMS BTMS. I will tell you a little bit more about it.
okay, sir.
Excellent, sir. I have one doubt.
Yes.
Hello. So nowadays there's a firing in battery of in Ola two-wheelers. You have lot of issues presenting. Why they have not done all these things, safety precautions before launching the vehicle? It is not a law.
Orders are there. You do advertisement. Whenever it takes 6 to 7 years to come into the market. Some companies make because of orders are there, demand is there. Problem with Ola is they have apps. Do you have Ola app on your phone? Too many registrations, too much pressure. So when you want to enter, it is better you work with proven suppliers. But what Ola wanted to do, they went ahead with their in-house design of BMS, which was not even validated for say, it's very less time. Generally, I say whenever you come up with a new BMS, it has to be validated for at least 3 years in Indian working conditions. These people, they did it in months. They could have, went ahead with a proven supplier who's already, proven all those things. But they wanted to control that I want to make everything in-house. I understand sometimes people want to do it, but at what cost? They use wonderful LG cells, no doubt with LG cells. And they use four-state cooling as well, which I'm not sure how effective it is. But one reason why Ola is catching fire is that BMS failure of the BMS fails, so it's a matter of time it will overcharge. It's a matter of time, continuous current and all those is unregulated. And regeneration will come back. So there's so many issues.
So now we are considering BTS, na? You are told that BMS the next step you are going. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Hello.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, we are clear. Yeah,
Yes. Someone wanted to say something. Yes.
Sir, actually this firing problem is only in India or in foreign also it is happening, sir, this problem.
Fire, huh?
Yeah, sir, battery firing.
See, in countries where price sensitivity is not there, there is not happening. It is happening, but on a much lower scale. But if you go back to the history of China, when they started, they also had a lot of fires. Everybody thought I'm smart. I can use something more cheap and just bring down the cost. So people who try to do those, go against the basics of things, they burn their fingers. So everybody, China, they have a lot. Only thing is news from China doesn't come to the world. They keep it to themselves. It's not a free country. So it happened, but not these days. These days the numbers are very, very low. See, even Tesla cars are catching fire. So I will not say that only it's India, but Indian the numbers are more because see again our sales are also very high. Two-wheeler and all. It's a very simple thing. If you look at cars, no cars are catching fire in India. Their thermal BTMS is very good. If you see Tata Nexon also, they have an active liquid, proper liquid cooling. Moreover, they use LFP. LFP batteries don't easily catch fire. You get a thick smoke at the most.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thanks.
Yes. So this is about BMS and BTMS. This is another module that I am teaching. So what is the BMS? We'll be talking about definition of BMS and its job is to monitor and predefined operating conditions and all those things. And importance of BMS. It is actually a mandate from cell manufacturers that don't use cells just like that. You need a BMS at all times. Cells should not be used without BMS. So it's a mandate. It creates a safe environment. Now you can say operating mode for computers. And then types of BMS, there is hardware and then there is software or smart BMS. Basic functionalities of BMS, there is 5 functionalities, upper voltage and under voltage and continuous current, lower current detection, temperature cutoff. So BMS does not regulate the temperature, it only acts when it feels high temperature. So regulation comes in BTMS, which I'll be coming down shortly. And there is communication BMS, why communication is important. What to do with the data. See, communication basically will send you the data of the battery pattern, how it was charged, at what speed it was charged, and how many cycles are over, what is the depth of discharge, what is the assertion of that. But what do you do with the data? So that is also very upcoming field, especially for data scientists. If any of your software engineers are there, this is something I would definitely recommend. This is probably the best field you can look into inside the battery. Data analysis of communication BMS. Yeah, and there is a advanced functionality of BMS which you get only in smart BMS. So which is you get the data of SOC, POD, SOH, SOP, and all these other data. And then we'll be talking about BMS architecture. What are the active and passive components? What does the MOSFET, IC about play a role? And there is passive components and all those things. Explanation of BMS architecture design, why it is done the way it is done. So we'll be talking about that. How to connect the BMS in a battery pack, and then for cell balancing, there will be individual wire harness coming from the BMS.
Sir, nowadays we are looking the nickel battery and so on, sir. That is why you are putting the NMC battery applications.
What is that?
Hello, sir.
Nickel.
NMC
is nickel manganese oxide battery. It is a lithium battery. It's a type of
lithium battery. What?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
lithium,
okay.
nickel, manganese, cobalt oxide.
Oh, okay. I think it is advance of lithium ion battery, sir. Is it right?
It is part of.
Is there any
lithium ion
more
is-
advantage?
See, no, I'll tell you. So basically, there will be Li over here. Li, NMCO2. So
Okay.
whenever batteries are being charged, Li ion will come out. And electron will come
Okay.
out. Li plus and electron
Okay,
will come out. So here it will be Li plus
Yeah.
plus electron will come out, and this is FePO4, iron phosphate.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
is compound together. This is a cathode material. So
Okay,
the
okay.
metals
Oh.
which are with lithium, that is changing. So advantage of NMC over LFP is it is lighter. It takes less volume.
Yes.
It has high voltage.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this thing. But LFP advantage is it is cheaper. It has a high cycle life. It is safer.
Okay. Oh,
These are the
okay.
difference. So that I'll be covering the cell chemistry only. And I'll be talking about LCO also. If you see your cell phone battery voltage.
Now we are talking about the coarse content material, huh?
Yes, it goes contact. Yeah, all this will be covered. So cell phone uses another chemistry called LCO. That is something you don't see in electric
Okay.
vehicles. That's only for cell phone, laptops, and tablets. And then we'll be talking about what is the parameters to be set. The voltage, upper cutoff, lower cutoff, and temperature to be set while charging, discharging. These are the parameters. It varies little bit for LFP and NMC. Balancing the battery pack. What is balancing? How does the BMS
Okay.
balance? Types of balancing.
Okay.
Passive active. BMS failure. What is the common reason why BMS fail? how to avoid failures.
Okay.
Then we talk about the Indian manufacturers of BMS, foreign manufacturers, and then BMS testing. So whenever you're making a bag, there'll be a BMS tester. So in that, what happens? So you connect the BMS and run a test. So if it passes, it's okay. If it fails, then what is the reasons why it fails, and what to do when it fails? These are all complete industrial.
Okay.
You know all this. I can tell you for a fact you will definitely get the job. But please, when you know, try to communicate. Communication plays a vital role whenever you attend an interview. It's not only about telling you know something, you have to explain it in depth. I'll teach you how to do that. So, and I'll also be talking about, I'll be having interactive sessions as well, where I'll be talking about the most commonly interviewed questions. Because I work with more than 10 companies as a consultant in India. So I can tell you what is happening, what is the industry looking for. So based on the individual strength, I will suggest you also. That is if you want to work in battlefield. If you want to work on something else, then it will be different person who will be talking about. Yeah. Then types. Then this is something BTMS, Battery Thermal Management System, and definition of it. Why do we need it? And the types of BTMS. There's active, passive. Popular types of BTMS. There's air cooling, Ola, Ether. Everybody uses this. In fact, Ether has additional, potting and all this.
Sir, excuse me, have you support?
Yes.
Yes, sir, excuse me. Have you support for any startup? Suppose we are doing startup means, have you support for any startup also, sir?
Where are you based out of?
Regarding the electrical
Location, no, I'm just asking. Depending on your location, I suggest you where you can.
We are in Tamil Nadu, sir. We are in Tamil Nadu. But you are talking about only course. The course is you are conducting only online or offline, sir. This course. You are telling that course content only, na?
Offline, I go to institutes also. I do that on demand. This will be online. Okay. I'll be part of the offline also. The 4+2 also I'll be there. So depending on the centers. My hometown is also Tamil Nadu, basically. I live in Bangalore. Yeah. So if you tell me the location, are you closer to Coimbatore?
No, I am closer to Trichy, sir. Trichy.
Okay.
I am closer to Trichy, sir.
I'm mentoring the incubation center also. If you want, I can connect you with them.
Yeah.
Is there in Coimbatore. It's a good incubation center. So they nurture all the startups.
Actually, we are. I think that. Yes, sir. We can connect that because my friend is also now. Before I am talking, he is talking. Muthu Kumar.
Your voice is.
I think is in the Europe, near to Bangalore. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Near to Trichy, but my friend is working in the engineering college. He's in nearby Europe only, sir. We will. So after this section, we will contact you, sir. Can you share your phone number?
No problem. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I work with a lot of incubation also as a mentor. So I'll connect you. Startups is always a good, welcome thing in India. Yeah. So,
okay.
Let me quickly finish this. So types of BTMS, active, passive, popular ones, air cooling. This is forced air cooling, liquid cooling is something which in Tata Nexon and all. PCM, phase change materials. And context, BTMS in the Indian context, like I told, 90% of the companies don't use it, and it is fastly growing field. So a lot of R&D is happening because BTMS can add cost and weight. So people want to make it lighter as well as cost effective. This is something a lot of R&D here also is happening. But this is more into chemical based field. If you are doing liquid cooling, it's water plus glycol kind of thing. So it's more of a building the system can be mechanical and all, but when it comes to formulating it, there will be someone chemical engineering. So chemical engineers are welcome in this field. Subject to the you can. Yeah. So this battery is a mix of, I would say, every field. And so let me. Yeah, Chitra, right? So let me just share my LinkedIn profile. You can just add it.
Yeah.
Yeah, any questions? So I think I covered all the topics. Any questions? I can take some questions now.
So, sir, this section purely your course content only, yeah?
This is course content, no? Yeah.
Yeah. this section purely your course content, regarding your course content you are going to teach, right?
Correct. All these points will be covered in my lectures.
Okay.
And I'll be bringing in some experts in between who are working on the field. We'll be having interactive sessions also. So last time I got a BMS engineer who was developing it on the field. So she explained it on the live also. We did some live sessions also. Yes.
So now we are getting live sessions also.
Yeah, I'm doing live also. With ISIE also I do live. There's mentorship sessions and all that. So I've shared my profile in the chat. You can just contact me. So it's a very interactive session, I would say. And yeah, altogether you learn a lot. See, because I'm working in industry and I don't really believe in theory until the theory is used in reality. So I'll be teaching only things that the industry wants. It will be easy for you to crack the interviews. That is if you want to work in the country. Any other questions? Any other questions? Anybody? Let me see the chat first. How long? Someone is telling. How long will it take for Indian tier 1, tier 2 companies? Much. Yeah, this is an interesting question from Niramoy Ganguly. So I would like to bring this point make it very clear. See, comparing with China will be too early because China, let's just talk about BYD. BYD is a car manufacturer, and when they began manufacturing, petrol cars, they realized, the engines that they were trying to make it in-house. They clearly admitted they failed and they sought for something else, and they thought, okay, electric vehicle is something which is we can work on because motors are easier to make, and they focused on that, and they quickly set up a battery manufacturing plant in 2005. So that is the history of China. This is 2022 till date. We don't have a cell manufacturing company in India, and China had so many factories in 2005. So it will be naive, I would say, to compare 17-year-old gap if you want to do it in 2 years. We can catch up, but it's going to take a generation because they're also growing very fast. So I always tell, rather than fighting with China, we are supposed to work with them until we have our own setup. So rather than telling that it is bad to work with them, but yes, you have to be careful about the quality. Chinese can be very notorious when you are dealing with the quality. Half of the time, substandard goods and all is very common. See, you need to understand China makes goods for 195 countries. If you have to inquire to any company, anyone, they will have a variety of pricing range for the same product because they don't want to lose the order. And based on how you pay, you get that kind of quality. Even iPhone is made in China. Don't forget that. But if you bargain, you tend to lose out on the quality. But again, there's a reason why Korea and Japan, they don't have substandard quality because during manufacturing itself, they will filter it out. They don't believe in supplying substandard quality. But China is that there's a market. Maybe Africa, maybe some countries, or maybe companies who want cheaper goods. So they, because manufacturing defect happens in every industry, say 5 to 10%. So all those substandard goods are still kept rather than disposed. So when you buy a cell from LG, you are more likely to get high quality cells because they don't circulate low quality cells. But you are buying a lithium-ion cell from China, you get a variety of grades. There is A grade, there is B grade also up to B1 to B9, there are so many grades. So it is a very tricky thing, but if you know what you are doing, it is okay to work with China. Yeah. Until we have our own setup. And it's going to take time for us to come to that level. Yeah, any questions? Anything did I miss in the chat box?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Sir,
There is a
have one
question from
question.
David. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
I have one
Yes,
question.
Yes.
सर हम ये पूछना चाह रहे हैं कि बीएमएस में जो सेल हम लगाते हैं ग्रेडिंग करके अलग अलग सॉर्टिंग करके, तो सर इसमें हम मतलब बिना सॉर्टिंग करके लगाए, क्या बीएमएस उसको बैलेंस करेगा सेल?
बिल्कुल करेगा, टाइम ज़्यादा लगेगा क्योंकि बीएमएस में अगर आप 50 मिलियम्स का sorry, everyone else he asked in Hindi, so I have to reply. I will repeat again in English as well, but let me come back to him. Yeah, तो अगर BMS का बैलेंसिंग करंट 50 मिली एम्प है और अगर सेल के बीच में फर्क है 500 mAh का, तो 10 घंटा तो लगेगा ही। तो आप 10 घंटा देंगे बैटरी को सेटल करने के लिए, रेस्ट करने के लिए, तो हो जाएगा, दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। और अगर आप बैटरी चार्ज करने के बाद इमीडिएटली चलाएंगे तो बैलेंसिंग अगर आप टाइम ही नहीं देंगे तो फिर कभी होगा ही नहीं, एज सिंपल एज दैट। So I'll repeat this in English as well for the others. So basically he was asking if without sorting, without grading, we are using cells as it is, and can we rely completely on the BMS to balance the cells? I said why not, we can, but the problem is that BMS, the balancing current is very low, because whenever we make a pack, it is assumed that we are using all uniform cells with same IR value, same OCV, same capacity. So the balancing will be on the lower side. Only 50 milliamps or 70 milliamps is taken in two-wheeler, and it will do the balancing. But if you are taking cells without sorting, suppose the cells have a capacity difference of say 500 mAh between two cells or 700 mAh, then it could take up to 10 hours, because 700 mAh divided by 70 milliamps will take 10 hours. So unless you are allowing the battery to rest for 10 hours, it's not going to balance. Now why would you rest the battery for 10 hours after charging it? As soon as the battery is charged, you're going to use it. So this situation will never be solved. So that is why we sort it. And also when the cells are not of uniform quality, heat generation from each cell will be different. Some cells will have higher temperature, some will be lower, and the cell which is facing the higher temperature will pass on the heat to someone else also. And it's a matter of time, the whole system is going to fail. Either the cell will collapse or it's going to catch fire. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, thanks.
I think so we can move ahead with the homologation part.
Okay.
Yeah. So Manish sir, now please take on the section. So if anyone has a question, you can put it in the chat box. We will definitely get back to you on the battery part as well. Manish sir, are you there?
Yeah. So, hi everyone. This is Manish. Currently working in one of OEM for electric two-wheeler, and I have already worked with TVS earlier for product development, Apache RR310. And we have a project as a product development engineer. And now I'll go through some of the requirements, what is there in terms of homologation. I'll go through some background, what is homologation basically, and what are the agencies which conduct the homologation for different OEMs. Okay. So am I audible to you? Any noise issue, any issue with the sound?
Yeah, it's audible only, sir. It's audible.
Yeah. So basically, there are a couple of agencies in India, North, West, and South, who works for the homologation. They are government agencies. There is ICAT in Delhi, and there is a ARI in Pune, and there is a GARC in Chennai. So these three agencies basically work for different type of vehicle homologation. So there is 4-wheeler, 2-wheeler, go-kart, small vehicles, engines, genset, everything they homologate as per the different standards. Okay. So there are different vehicle category also defined as per the government. Okay, there's L1 category vehicle, there's L2 category vehicle, M1, M2, N1. So different categories are there. Are so many things are there in terms of vehicle definition. And today I'm going to talk about the basically two-wheeler and what are the tests we do in the homologation side. Okay. When we talk about two-wheeler, there's a category called L1 and L2. Okay, L1 basically talks about vehicle which is slow-speed vehicle under 70 kmph, and the capacity of the vehicle in terms of battery motor is below 11 kilowatt. Okay, the slide what you are seeing is basically the ICAN, ready reckoner for the vehicle homologation. Okay, so they will have different tables to fill up. Any company wants to homologate their own vehicle, they have to submit their own company profile to agencies. So if first the OE will get registered in ICAT or ARI or GRC, and then next you will be to submit the vehicle specification sheet. So if you see here, there is a brief specs and there is a detailed specs. But BOV is basically the battery operated vehicle, and ICEV is basically engine vehicles. Okay. So brief specs of the vehicle and the detailed specs of the vehicle is submitted to ARI or any other agency ICAT. And then comes the starting of the homologation activity. There are two divisions in homologation activity. One is the part level homologation and there is the vehicle level homologation. Okay. Normally, part level homologation is done on the, if you see this particular slide, there is a vehicle level. What are the test applicable is defined here, and what is the standard is defined here. Okay. If I tell them to move to next slide, I'll start with the part level and then vehicle level. Go to next slide. Yeah. Next. Yeah, next. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the component level, starting from here. So this sheet is available in the website of ICAT and ARI. They will define which category of vehicle you want to homologate in their respective agencies. So they will give you all the specs, like what are the tests you will be conducting. Okay. Okay. So can you go to the point number 1 here is the component level. I'll quickly go through it. Yeah, from here on. Slide number 3. Yeah. Slide number 3. Yeah, from here on. Okay, this will go. Component level. Our point number 36. Yeah. So these are few components which has to be certified when you submit your vehicle, whether 2-wheeler, 4-wheeler. Here I'm basically discussing about, for example, the 2-wheeler. So your horn has to be certified. That has to be homologated. Whatever horn you are going to use, that has to be certified, and there is standard IS 184 is defined for the certification. Okay. And then there is a rear view mirror of your vehicle has to be certified separately. These are part level certification. Then your tires, whatever the vehicle tire you are going to use in the vehicle, that has to be certified. So there is standard defined. Okay, these are the component level certification. Then your lighting systems, light signaling devices, basically the headlamp, your indicators, your tail lamp, your reflectors, front reflectors, side reflector, all those has to be individually homologated. Okay. Part level homologation has to be there, and the reference standard is already defined, AS010 Part 1. You can go through it. This you can find it in ICAT website as well as ARI website. So what is the standard requirement for the headlamp, tail lamp, indicators, reflectors, everything. So there you can go in complete detail how your vehicle lighting system should be certified and what performance should it match for the certification purpose. Okay. Then next is here basically we are talking about 4th position light and light signaling devices. Lighting and light signaling devices, main beam and display is the headlamp. Next is the light and lighting signaling devices. Here we are talking about the front position lamps, rear position lamps, stop lamps. This is basically talking about the tail lamps and direct indicators. Point number 5. That's the certification under AS00 Part 3. Okay. And then comes the point number 6. That basically talks about the fog lamps. So that is not applicable for 2-wheelers, but it is applicable for 4-wheelers. So they have given the standards for that. Then comes the rear fog lamps. That is again not applicable for 2-wheelers, but applicable for the 4-wheelers. And there are some other tail lamp requirements for different category of vehicles, the trailers and all of this. Point number 8. And point number 9, daytime running lamps. That again has to be certified as we have to Part 10. Okay, so again, if your vehicle has bulbs, if you are not using LED and you are using the bulbs in your headlamp, tail lamp, everywhere, then the individual bulbs has to be certified. before you use in a vehicle. Okay. Then comes the brake hoses. If you have the disc hydraulic system in your vehicle, then brake hoses has to be certified. Uh, Brake fluid has to be certified again. These are the individual part level certification has to be done. Then fuel tank is there for IC engine vehicles, then fuel tank has to be certified. Wheel rims, again, there are different types of wheel rims, alloy, sheet metal and spoke wheels. The different standards are there for different alloy and sheet metal and spoke wheels that need to be certified. So you have to submit some component for agencies, whether it is ARI or ICAM. They will give you a certificate of the individual components. These all happens before you submit your vehicle for final homologation as a vehicle level. So this part level has to be sorted out first. This will take you around 1 to 3 months just for a part level certification. It will cost you around 20 to 50 lakh rupees for all these components to get certified. Depending upon whether it's two-wheeler component or four-wheeler component, this will cost to any points around that. This is the part level certification. Then comes the point number 15, the traction batteries. So again, this is the if the battery operated vehicles are there, electric vehicles are there, then the battery has to be certified as a component. So you need to submit some 5 to 6 samples to ARI or ICAT to get your battery pack certified before you use them in your vehicle. Okay, so you will get the certificate for the battery pack. There are different types of vibration tests, the shock test, thermal test, and they will also check all the logics in the BMS to certify your battery pack. Okay, so that is also done by ARI and ICAT. Currently, GRC is currently not into this battery operated vehicle. They are developing the facilities. Maybe in future GRC Chennai will do all this activity altogether. And then reflector is basically the reflectors. These are like small side reflector and rear reflectors, which has to be certified. So basically, the general idea that how many components are critical, which has to be certified for any vehicle you are going to manufacture or going to sell in the market. Okay, so once this part level certification is done, or you are using a certified part already. Let's say you have a wheel rim which is already certified by some other supplier. So you will ask them wheel rim with the certificate so that you don't have to do the certification again. You are going to use the same wheel rim with that particular certificate with that particular load condition which is matching with your vehicle application, and then you will go ahead with that one certificate. You don't have to pay again. Maybe supplier who is supplying the wheel, he will ask you some payment on behalf of submitting you the certificate. But that is a different altogether economics part of it. Who will pay a supplier how much? That is a different discussion altogether. Okay. So this is the part level certification which is done. Then comes the vehicle level certification. I go from front slide one. Yeah. So here I will start. Like what are the critical things which agency will test for vehicle level certification, so that you can sell your vehicle and the other vehicle can have a registration and all those things in the market. So first, I'll talk about this. Mass emission test is basically applicable for the IC EV. You can see the remarks. It is basically for electric IC engine vehicles, not applicable for battery operated vehicles. You can see here. Emission again related to IC engine vehicles. OBD1 and OBD2 is basically onboard diagnostic device which has to be there on vehicles. That is only applicable for IC engine vehicles. It is not mandatory for right now for electric vehicle to have OBD diagnostic protocol in the vehicle. It is not mandatory. You can have it, but it is not mandatory. It is not a policy requirement right now. So there is no concern on the battery operated vehicles to have OBD. If it is there, it is well and good. The next is the measurement of electrical energy consumption. So basically, this is where a battery operated vehicle will come in picture, and we have to basically find out what is the watt hour kilometer you have to get from your vehicle. So how much energy they will measure basically whatever capacity of your vehicle, and this one standard is there SU39. You can go through it. Details are there for completely testing how the testing will be and how it will start. This all tests are done on the vehicle level. So vehicle has to have all charger, battery pack, complete vehicle, all the accessories, everything has to be there. It will be submitted to agencies, ARI, ICAT, and they will check your vehicle capacity. Then they will check the range, method of measuring the range. So they basically check the range of the vehicle in the IDC. So Indian Drive Cycle they will check. So whatever range what we are getting in the all the vehicles, whether it's Ola or any other, you normally see the ARI defined range are there. And IDC is basically IDC has a top speed of 42 km per hour. Okay, it is not going beyond 42 km per hour. So whenever they are checking any vehicle, whether it's a four-wheeler, two-wheeler on IDC, they will only reach 42 km per hour, and hence we are getting higher range on the ARI certified range, because they are not checking the vehicles beyond 42 kmph, because that's the standard IDC. So they check your vehicle on dyno, they keep on running your vehicle in IDC cycle. They'll start from zero, they'll stop, then they'll climb up to 40 kmph, then they'll go down. Again the cycle will keep on repeating until your battery is 100% to 0% SOC. And then your range will be defined as per ARI. But real world range will be defined by the real world application. There your range will drop, definitely it will drop 25 to 30% depending upon the vehicle application. If there is high speed vehicle going beyond 100 kmph, then definitely your vehicle range and ARI range will have a lot of differences. So that range will be defined by ARI, that is one part. Then the next one, measurement of net power and maximum 30-minute power. So basically this is measuring your net power of your vehicle motor. Where there is a standard AS0401, basically they are giving you how much power, peak power and nominal power you are what you have given as spec sheet, whether you are able to achieve that in your vehicle or not, whether you are bluffing on your spec sheet, then you are getting let's say 5 bhp, but your vehicle actually is getting only 3.5 bhp. So those things, whether it's bhp or kilowatt, they will check it and they will certify whether it is achieving performance measurement or not. That is one part. And full throttle performance FTP test is applicable for the IC engine vehicle, not applicable for battery operated vehicle. Then comes the photographs. So they will check they will take the photographs of your vehicle from top view side and everything to put on your certificate. That homologation certificate will be issued on you. So they will check the they will take the photographs of your vehicle so that you don't change anything in the production run. So you have submitted some vehicle in homologation period, and in production run it has to match same. It cannot be changed. If you are changing anything, then you have to resubmit your vehicle for homologation. It will cost you another 12 to 15 lakh rupees for vehicle homologation again. That should not happen. So they will keep a record of your vehicle. So physical dimension, physical aesthetics will keep a record of your vehicle. You have to produce your vehicle what we have active right. Then comes the fitment of tires. They will check the tires fitment on your vehicle, whether your correct size of the rim and tires are there or not. So that is applicable for IC engine as well as battery operated vehicle. Then there is a CMVR, physical verification. Here basically they will check all the functional physical layout of the vehicle in terms of ground clearance, in terms of height, seating height, turning radius, overall vehicle height, everything they will check as per the specs. Overall vehicle weight they will check. If everything is meeting as per your claimed spec sheet, they will give same. But if there is any deviation, there is that they will rectify it and updated specs has to be issued in the certificate. So that is the physical verification. And then comes the brake test. They will do the brake test on the test track, whether it's on the VRD test or any other location. We have to track it today. They will do the brake test. And different category of vehicle, different speed of the vehicle will have different performance requirement as per the standard IS4 that has to be met. So brake test has to pass. So there are some, if we go next slide, within the brake also, this is the brake performance measurement, but there is a requirement of CVS braking. Go down. Yeah. So if your vehicle is falling under L2 category, then you need to have a CBS, complete braking system in your vehicle. Okay. But it is if it is under L1 category vehicle, it's not speed vehicle, then CBS is not mandatory. This is the government regulations. Common braking system should be there in the vehicle. Functional should be it should be functional. And again, there is a requirement of ABS in the vehicle when your vehicle is IC engine and it is more than 125 cc. Capacity of vehicle is more than 125 cc, then you need to have ABS. The CBS will not suffice. And if your battery operated vehicle, electric vehicle is net power more than 11 kilowatt, then you need to have ABS. Otherwise, if it is below 11 kilowatt, then you can have CBS itself. And if it is in the L1 category, even the CBS is not mandatory. So those things are there, well defined. And standard for the already defined IS1 464. Okay. Then comes the speedometer calibration. This is one homologation requirement is that your speed of the vehicle and the speed indicated on the speedo cluster cannot be there is a deviation requirement. Okay, you need to have like 1 to 5% of deviations in the speed. So if your vehicle speed is let's say actual speed, VWAP speed, let's say GPS speed is 40, it should show 45 or 44. It cannot be 40:40. 1:1 should not be there. So the calibration has to be such a way. The speed showing in the cluster should be higher there. So it has to have like 3 to 5% of error as per the homologation requirement. So when vehicle is running at 90 kmph, your speedometer should show 100 kmph or let's say 98 kmph. So that calibration has to be there, and that they will check it. Okay. Then pass by noise measurement is basically the noise measurement of the vehicle. So decibel is defined for IC engine and vehicles. So that is applicable for both the vehicles. They will check the noise from your vehicle. If the decibel limit is met, then they can clear that part. Then comes the telltale symbols. Telltale symbols is basically all the symbols what you see in the dashboard, like indicator symbols which blinks when you are putting an indicator. When there's a high beam, there's an indicator symbol on the cluster which shows that you are in high beam. There is a cluster symbols for let's say battery capacity is low capacity or an error is there. So all those things are part of the telltale. So that has a definition for that also. It is defined under AIS 126. So what kind of telltales you can use in your speedo cluster? Whether it's a dashboard or speedo cluster in two-wheelers. That is predefined by agencies for homologation. So same symbol has to be used in your cluster. You cannot make your own symbols for anything which falls under telltale category. So that has to be kept in mind, and they will check that part in your cluster. Then there comes the gradability of your vehicle, that how much gradient your vehicle can climb. So again, AIS 003 is what we find the gradability test. So it can be 7 degree, 8 degree, or 10 degree, 12 degree. You can do the test and the test to pass. There is single rider, dual rider. So after that, then comes the VIN verification. So VIN is basically the vehicle identification number. So you may be knowing the chassis number is something what we see in all the vehicles. So chassis number is given by every vehicle manufacturer has WMI, World Manufacturing Index. There is Ola, Ather, TVS, Honda. They have World Manufacturing Index numbers given to them by SAE. So using that WMI, the 17-digit chassis number has to be created, and that chassis number which is created using WMI index, that definition has to be submitted to ARI or ICAT. Then how you are defining your vehicle chassis number. Okay, so first 3 number will be your WMI code. The next number will be next numbers you can define. Next remaining 14 numbers you can define as per your vehicle color, as per your vehicle capacity, as per your vehicle model, as per your vehicle manufacturing date, month, year. All those things will come under remaining 14 characters. and the production serial numbers will be around 4 to 5 digits. So those definition has to be submitted, that how you are going to produce your vehicle, how you are going to identify your vehicle, which batch is produced, which vehicle model is produced. In that. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. So I was basically at the main verification. Any question till now is very straightforward. Okay, so this is basically the homologation requirement for the vehicle. For any starter want to have their own vehicle certified by agencies before selling in the market. These are the things which he has to be done. Okay. Then next is your point number 20, which is horn installation. So the standard for IS 15796 that defines the position of the horn and the loudness of the horn. So that installation has to be checked by it. Then point number 21 is basically for AHU, automatic headlamps. So now you can see all the headlamps are on during daylight condition, or either headlamp is on or either this one is on. The daytime running light is on. So if your vehicle doesn't have daytime running lamp, then your headlamp has to be always on, whether it's high beam on or low beam on. So that is a regulation requirement that has to be met. Then the rear view mirror installation again. The installation has to really check for rear view mirror for your vehicle. That proper orientation of the mirror is there. You can see the rear side of your vehicle or not. So that is comes under point number 22. Next. Yeah. Next point is installation requirement for lighting and signaling device. Okay. So point number 23 is basically the position of the lighting, headlamp, tail lamp, and indicators. So that is defined under AS009. So there is definition of position is there, like where you can keep your headlamps, tail lamp, indicators, how much area that should cover in terms of front view and side view. That indicator should be visible from the side view or also from the front view. How much angle should be there. So those definition comes on the AS009. Accordingly, you have to design your vehicle headlamp position and indicator position, tail lamp position, all those things. So that will be checked in the vehicle. And then point number 24 is spray separation. This basically talks about your mud guard and huggers. So vehicles should not. There is a definition for mud guard and huggers. How much cover it should provide to rear wheel, so that rear people who is driving behind you doesn't get water splash or mud splash. So that definition comes under spray separation. That also part of the homologation. Then pillion handhold test. Again, the grab handle of the vehicle for two-wheeler application comes under the homologation. So it has to withstand some 200 kg load, so that your pillion handle hold doesn't break or fall off during application. So 200 kg is what load has to apply. So that again comes under IS 14495. And this is applicable for all the vehicles which is having seating capacity more than one. Basically, two-wheeler application actually, not for four-wheeler. Yeah. Next. Yeah. Now again comes the footrest test. So whatever footrest you have in a vehicle, that also comes under the loading. So there is a certain load defined, 170 kg has been put on the footrest. There is a scooter case, the front footrest and the rear pillion footrest both has to be loaded up, and it should withstand that particular load. So again, AS 148 defines that particular load case. And remaining is lightweight container. If it is like a pizza box and all those things that is fitted on the vehicle, that comes under that category. But we are not going to get into that detail. Stand requirement is there from January 2022. There is some 10 lakh cycle application of sites in has to be done. Those tests are part of the homologation that need to be done. External projection is like any vehicle has any crash guard or any kind of projection that is checked there. It should not. There is standard for that also. 147 that defines how much external projection has to be there, how much coverage has to be there. It should not be very large projection so that any base stand or anybody on site will be hit from that crash guard or anything like that. So that comes under the external projection. Then comes the anti-theft, all locking system of your vehicle, whether it is your steering lock, any electronic steering lock, anything is there that comes anti-theft device that should be present in the vehicle. That comes, and then there is certain load defined that how much load it has to be set. So these are basic necessity of any two-wheeler, four-wheeler. Also, in terms of anti-theft has to be there. You cannot sell your vehicle without locking system. Point number 31 is basically EMC, electromagnetic compatibility test. This is a complete vehicle level EMC. Whatever electromagnetic radiation is coming from that vehicle, so that will be tested by agencies in the broadband or narrowband condition. Both in the standby condition of your vehicle and the running condition of your vehicle. So there is a certain specified level for the radiation of your vehicle. So that has to be met. If your vehicle emissions are higher in terms of electromagnetic radiation, then EMC test will be failed. So that has to be met. And coherence and functional safety of the vehicle basically talks about all the wiring, high HV and LV lines, the color coding of that one, wiring cable, any fuses and all those things has to be there in your vehicle. Grounding is required, that has to be there in the vehicle. So those part comes in the functional safety of your vehicle. And then component clearance is again all component level test has to be conducted before submitting the vehicle level. Okay, and then comes the type approval of your electric powertrain vehicles. Again, these are the sometimes what some company does. That already they have the chassis, frame, everything. They get their powertrain certified by. Let's say they sources their power system from third party. They're getting motor controller, BMS, and battery pack from third party. That is already certified by agencies. And as an OEM, I want to source that powertrain. I can directly take the certificate and submit that certificate. Then I will not undergo so many tests of motor testing, battery backup, all those things will not be happening for me. So that comes under your powertrain, type approval you will get powertrain. If it is not done, then you have to go through that complete certification of your powertrains. And point number 35 is basically if you have different models. Like there is a base variant, there is a higher variant, multiple variants are there. So certification of the base variant will be done. And if there is a powertrain difference, then next variant also will be certified. If only aesthetic differences are there, let's say some features are added in terms of USB charge and other things, then only base variant will undergo the certification. If the powertrain are different, if you have one vehicle base model with 2 kilowatt, another is having bigger battery pack, 2.5 kilowatt, then another variant has to be tested for range and everything. And finally, all the documents will be compiled for your part level and vehicle level tests, and you will be issued a certificate. This all process will take, vehicle level will take 3 months, and part level will take another 1 to let's say 3 months. It's all 5 to 6 month process, and it costs around. Part level will cost you 50 lakh, vehicle level will cost you 15 lakh, 50 plus 15. So this is the cost of any vehicle certification agencies, whether it's ICAT or AI. I think I given a complete overview. I have not been got into the detail of each test. We'll see later that how specs of ARI and all ICAT defines those testing. I think we are clear. Any doubt on that, like certification issues and all those things? Hello. Hello.
So, if anyone
No,
has
sir.
any doubts, you can ask the question.
Yeah. So basically, understanding of required. Why? Because whenever you are designing anything, it has to comply with the government regulations. So before jumping into any designing process, you need to understand the homologation requirement. Then only your design activity, the full exercise will be a successful one. If you don't get into details of certification and homologation, problem will happen that after the completion of your complete development of your own system, it may or may not meet the certification. Then your then full development cycle has to be redone because you have not considered the certification process. So for that reason, homologation process is very critical. You need to understand each test which is conducted for two-wheeler, four-wheeler application, and then accordingly you have to plan it. So this has to be first step. Then all design steps has to be second. Yeah. So any questions regarding this one? Hello.
I think, sir, no
Sir,
question.
good evening.
Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah, you're telling about what are the manufacturing and test generals, sir. Suppose we are starting, what I have asked the questions, what in we startup, how it starts everything, sir, regarding the electric vehicle. I want to do some startup in the electrical vehicle side. Have you support for that, sir?
The electric vehicle side was
Yeah, I am from Tamil Nadu, sir. I am working as a professor in the electrical department in the University Constitute College, sir.
Yes.
I'm doing research in that area. In that area, I'm doing research. So that I want to I want to go for some startup. Is it possible to support for my startup, sir? Let me know.
Yeah, sure. See, this is the basic. Any whether it's startup or whether bigger OEM, the process for any
Okay.
certification is same. Okay, and
Okay.
any startup means company has to be registered under
Oh,
company has to have GST certificate. Company has to have
okay.
company certificate for reduction, and all those certificate has to be there before any startup starts. Okay, and then
we have to
when you make your
we have to start our.
yeah.
Okay, sir. Tell me, sir. Tell me, sir.
Yeah, so your company can be under MSME category. You can have so those certificate has to be issued. Like you should have your GST number,
Okay. Okay.
and you must
Okay.
there
Take
is
number
this,
like that.
yeah,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So we have to register that place, and we have to show everything as well, like place, like manpower, everything we have to show. So, or else just we have registered that company in that name like that. That
yeah.
clarification
See,
I
the
need,
company
sir.
has to company registered. Company must have a company identification number, CIN number. Okay.
Okay.
Then you will
Okay.
get the first you will be a company registration. That is the CIN number which you will get it. Okay. Then
Okay.
there only you have to fill all your details, that who is the director of the company, who is the stakeholder of the companies. Okay. After that is done, then you will also apply for GST number of your
Okay.
company. You will also have the PAN number of your company, and
Yeah.
then you will. So those are like formalities, are there, company registration process are there, for which different
Okay.
agencies will support you. They are making all this
Oh,
documentation ready for some
okay.
some people
Okay.
do
Okay.
activity. Okay. After you do all these
Okay.
things, then you will
Okay.
have document ready. Then you will start your development activity. Whether it is your
Oh.
any product you want to develop, then you start developing. And using that document,
Okay.
you will apply to agency for certification.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
Thank you
when
very
you
much
go
for.
to agencies,
Okay, sir. Uh,
sure.
Sir, can you share your phone number? Else, if any clarification, can you call me and get information from you, sir?
Sure, sure. I think you can discuss with I mean, through IC India, I can get, you can get the details. I'll reply through it.
Okay, sir. Actually, we are under working at the college, so we are supposed to be joined at your team, sir, because we have the many students in electrical and mechanical department. So
Yeah,
supposed to be informed that regarding that. Yeah, yeah. Is it what are the
Yeah.
format is how to join your team? Member, how I can join your team, sir?
Ma'am, hello. I'm
which,
from
which,
ISI India. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
ma'am.
Tell me, tell me.
We can connect personally, like after this session, so that we can discuss whatever the what are the
Okay,
possibilities of
okay,
connecting,
okay. Thank you.
particularly for this.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
thank you, thank you.
So, yeah. If anyone has any question, you can ask, or we can wind up the session.
Hello, sir. My name is Karan Patil.
Yeah.
I am asking about the previous sir said that battery is imported from another countries. In India there are lots of company are manufacturing EVs vehicles. In related to IC engine in a EV vehicle components is very low required. But why we importing the battery motors from another countries? Motors.
See, this is all about battery is imported from other country because battery manufacturing plant is not there in India. There's no company who is manufacturing lithium-ion battery packs lithium-ion cells in India, basically. Okay, so there's no alternative. Either we have to wait till some companies start their lithium-ion production in India. It may take 5 years or 10 years. Somebody start manufacturing lithium-ion cells in
Our
India.
motor also they are importing. You said that.
Yeah, but there are companies who have already started working on the motor. They already started supplying motors. But again, their sourcing component, which is like the magnets and everything, it still comes from the China. Because if you start manufacturing those magnets and everything in India, it will cost you twice because volumes are not there in India. But China has the volume, so they can give you in a cheaper rate. So that is the economic sense which every company want to have a profit. So they want to. It is very cheaper to source magnets and components from China, even the cells, rather than wait for the company who will manufacture in India, then will source from India and then start selling in India. That will take a lot of time, and the government is also giving a lot of incentives. PLI schemes are coming up. So maybe within 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, we may have multiple vendors who can supply cells, BMS, controller, and so many components for electric vehicle. But we cannot wait for those things to happen. Otherwise, we will lose so much 5 years of a lot of startup will lose because if these companies are starting, so many startups are coming up. They are taking help from, let's say, China source component, whether it's a cell, whether it's a circuit board for BMS, or whether it's controller, whether it is any other component from for electric vehicle. At least we are having a manpower is getting ready. Our manufacturing is getting ready for assembly. Our our customers are getting ready for electric vehicle. So that slowly everything will get in-house. We'll develop after 5 years. Everything will be in-house, whether it's cell, circuit board, and everything. But we cannot start from from zero level itself. That everything has to be from India. Every component has to be India. That cannot happen. We have to have a collaboration with the vendors, whether it's from China, whether it's from Japan, Taiwan, anywhere. Whoever can give us good quality product, good quality cells with a cheaper price, company has to source from there. There is no other alternative. Same thing you can see in the smartphone also. Earlier, so many companies started sourcing, whether it's Micromax, Lava, so many other Indian companies started sourcing from China. Then slowly what they did after 2 years, 5 years, Micromax started making their phones in India itself. So, and now iPhone is getting built in India. There's so many Samsung is getting built in India, or phones are getting built in India. So that happens. But that happens with smartphone, that will happen with your electric vehicle also. So we must wait for that thing to happen, and we should continue growing in terms of technology of software technology and manufacturing technology of battery operated vehicles. That's how it will happen. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other question?
So if anyone has any question, you can ask the questions, or else we can wind up the session. So on a closing note, I would like to inform you that like we have the course available. This course available on a portal, that is www.isindia.com. This course is for 6 months. This is a 6 month course where we are we are covering lots of topics under this course, covering the motor design, battery pack, battery BMS, BTMS, control methods, homologation, and the charging infrastructure. So this course is available on our portal, and we are offering lots of financial things like the no cost EMI and the installments as well. So if you have any if you are interested in joining this course, you can contact us through on our email ID. Our email ID is available in the chat box, so that you can drop us it. And who all are interested in collaboration, so we are open to have the collaboration, and we can train we can train them online or offline. We are available in both the modes. And industrial or the academic collaboration, we also do academic collaboration for the imparting the knowledge or telling the students or providing the summer internships.
Can we get the certificate for this section? That
Ma'am, this session will be available on our portal on isindia.com. So you can go and enroll yourself, and you can download the certificate through that. We will send you the email how to download the certificate as well. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. Thank you.
in the chat box, I'm just tapping the form where you can show if you are interested in joining this course, you can fill up the form.
Okay. Okay. Sure. How much cost that I can see that your mail that website?
Yes, ma'am. The cost of this program for this course is designed for 6 months. Okay, and the total duration of the financials of this course is 60,000 rupees for 6 months.
Okay.
Okay.
For 6
So
months. Okay.
It consists of both.
It's online or offline, sir?
It's totally online, ma'am. It's totally online. Apart from that, we are offering one more mode, that is a blended mode. We are offering 4 months online and 2 months offline session.
Okay. Offline section means how many days we have to come there? Like where are the places that
We have a
everything
center of
will it's in the
Actually, currently we have a center of excellence at Aurangabad, Maharashtra. And next, in coming 2 months, we are going to open a center of excellence in Hyderabad and Kerala.
What about Tamil Nadu?
Ma'am, actually, we are yet to have the MOU with some of the colleges or the universities. So once it gets finalized, then we will open over there as well.
Okay, if you need any help, then we will also talk with our university people, and we can open here also, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Definitely, that's what I'm saying. I will connect with you after this session, by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So we can have a discussion how we can collaborate on different proposals, and then we can finalize.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Let me know your good name, please, sir. Your good name, please.
It's Shubham, ma'am. It's Shubham Vashi.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
So, as Baldev Singh has mentioned, he is near Delhi NCR. So, we are going to open a center of excellence at Kalgotia University soon by this month or next month. So, if you want to have the hands-on training over there, you are invited to attend the session.
Oh, when sir? What time?
I'm in Delhi
So you
NCR.
can
We are
just
like this.
yeah, actually, sir, I'll send my phone number. You can connect that WhatsApp number also. What are the program you're going to connect everything so that I can come and attend the meeting also, sir. That program also.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. So, you got the link of this program through Gopinath, sir, I think.
Yes.
Yes.
Now I can share my I can share my number that the
I
WhatsApp
have your
chat
number,
box.
ma'am. I have your number.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you can call me, then we can discuss and we can collaborate and how we can start in Tamil Nadu also, sir. Because Tamil Nadu, we are many people are doing research in the electrical vehicle and they are looking that like you people are we are waiting for that one, sir. Because we are many people doing research in the electrical vehicles, sir. If you are
Sure,
coming
ma'am.
means it will be very helpful. Yeah, it will be very helpful for us.
Definitely, we will collaborate for the same. We will establish the COE over there as well, ma'am.
Okay. And also I already have mentioned the starting session also. I want to do some startup also, sir. So that also we'll discuss later, sir.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Anyway, that our session, all sessions will be very helpful for us, sir. Thank you very much for your support and everything, and your kind reply and everything, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your participation, ma'am. And it's really,
Okay.
like I would like to thank you, Rahul sir, Manisha, and Ganesh for this wonderful session and like motivating all the candidates for this wonderful program. So thank you everyone for joining this session and for
Actually,
the
sir, we know what is BMS. Now we are introduced the BTMS also, thermal management system. That is now new. You heard. So it's very
Ma'am, you
interesting,
must
sir.
go through our course. You must go through our course. We will cover each and every part of the electric vehicle.
Okay. Sure. Surely I maybe join, sir. So I'll let you know. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to complete. So for the certification, we will send you this mail after this session. You can download the certificate from there. Okay. Thank you for your time, everyone. Thank you, Manisha. Thank you, Rahul sir. Thank you, everyone.
Woo!